The best thing that you can do is be your unique self and stand out and create your own lane. That is the best thing for you. It may be one of the hardest, but no matter what you want to do, whether it's business ownership, whether it's going into a career, you're more memorable when you're an individual instead of being a part of the pack. At the end of the day, right? It's to level the playing field so that everyone can thrive without barriers. Mm-hmm. Everyone has access. We're all included, and we're treated like human beings. I had to get married to the destination and the outcome, not the journey. The journey can change, but the vision has to remain the same.
Man, it is such a pleasure. This is my old classmate. Man, Shayla, how are you?
I am well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here with you, so it's going to be good. We're going to have some fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. We got a lot to talk about. We ain't going to take them all the way back to high school, but we're going to take them back a little bit. You know, we're going to get into your company, the Atkins Impact, but, you know, for me, it's being able to understand the journey.
Yeah.
Right? Talking about the journey, especially into entrepreneurship. That's something that I always want to just unpack a little bit because a lot is in there.
It is.
Right? And you've been able to be successful. You're doing amazing things, which we're going to get into, but you had to start from somewhere. Right? And so talk to me a little bit about that process, right? You've started your company, Atkins Impact. Take us back to kind of that journey and what led up to it.
Interesting enough, I love this question. And a lot of times people start with, I launched this business and I launched this company. In fact, I'm going to tell you, this business started out of failure. I had a prior business venture that failed.
Wow.
1 week before the pandemic started. And I had to pivot so fast, not knowing what the pandemic was at the time, right? And this thing was coming and all of this. But it was born out of necessity. It was born out of failure. It was with a prior business partner. Didn't work. And I was like, okay, I have to continue to service clients. Yeah. And now let me pivot and create this thing and birth this business out into the world. And so that was the Atkins Impact, and it was born in March of 2020. But also what you see today has seen so many evolutions. Yeah. And it was HR consulting, business coaching, leadership. I mean, it has evolved so much. And so I would just say that journey that you mentioned, I had to get married to the destination and the outcome, not the journey, because it had changed so much. Yeah.
But the journey is where you appreciate.
You do.
Like what that end product is.
You do.
You know, and that's even a lot because you learn about yourself.
Oh my God.
During the journey.
Yes.
Right. But then when you're able to get whatever you've been striving for, based on whatever you are seeking, like when you get to it, then you know that there's more to go as well. And so you've got this journey that really never ends, that really shapes you to be able to steward whatever you are pursuing properly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that piece, when you start to learn about yourself and through that journey, your vision gets crystal clear. Because you start to create this elasticity of like, wait, I'm starting too far away from my vision. Let me come back. And you know, and you have now a clear path forward. And so you do appreciate the journey that much more. And that vision is so important because without it, you could just be all over the place, which is great. However, if it's leading you towards your vision, right? And so I always talk about the journey can change, but the vision has to remain the same.
Yeah. The vision has got to remain the same.
Yes.
But you know, I mean, you started the company during COVID.
Yes.
Where literally everything changes. The entire world changes.
Literally.
Right? Like, talk to me a little bit about that. Like, during that process, as everybody's trying to just find some type of solid foundation, because
Yeah.
everybody's world is turning upside down, and you've got this entire pandemic that's reshaping not only personal lives, but how business is done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that pivot, like I think the pivoting has been, I've become a master at pivoting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Launched the business the week before, HR consulting,
Mm-hmm.
right? The world changes. Everyone's at home. HR, what are you talking about? Everyone is looking for what? Entrepreneurship, business, another stream of income. So guess what? We're going to pivot to what? Business coaching, which was
Yeah.
my second love
Yeah.
and profession and what I studied anyway, secondary to human resources and org development. So it worked out, right, to where I was able to still leverage my expertise, but it was the pivot into the business coaching. So oddly enough, that period of time kind of helped start the business, right? Where
Yeah.
everyone was clamoring for some sort of normalcy. Everyone was clamoring for income and, ownership and all of that. And so we were able to provide the business coaching and consulting and what we started off doing there
Yeah.
at the beginning of the company. That's kind of how we started
Yeah.
growing and kind of growing a community and clients, and then we pivoted again.
Yeah. I mean, you do. You have to be very good at being able to pivot.
You do.
So, as you are going in and you're providing these consultative services to companies, you're helping your clients. Talk to me a little bit about kind of what the Atkins Impact comes in and help companies do and achieve.
Yeah, so one, like I mentioned, that pivot. And that pivot was back to our core competencies, which was around workplace culture, organizational development, and leadership development, which is what we are today.
Yeah.
And so when we go into professional organizations, companies, corporations, we go in with very clear outcomes to develop leaders that are human-centric and they drive performance, and a healthy and a safe and effective workplace culture so that your business thrive and your people thrive. That's clear. That is what we do. Now, how we do that and how we go about getting that done could be through developing their leaders, developing their pipeline for women in leadership. That could look like equipping their human resources team and being an arm for them to build their capability and build their skill set and capacity. So that's the how, but we're very clear on that's, when we go into companies, those are the three objectives and what we accomplish.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And just when you think about, as we're talking about pivot, that seems to be the theme of this. But yeah, when you pivot, right, it's being able to keep some parts stationary, so not losing sight of that vision, but understanding maybe what methodologies need to change, or how do you have something that's a little bit more tailored based on maybe the times that you're in or the circumstances that you find yourself in.
Yeah.
Right? So when we think about, right, we're going to address what everybody is talking about. We've got things that have changed in our society when it comes to workplace, different initiatives, DEI, to say those three letters.
The elephant in the room.
The elephant in the room. That's the space that we both know very well.
Yeah.
Right? Talk to me a little bit about kind of how you see things shifting, or how things have shifted, and maybe how some things have remained the same when you think about the significance of just what that initiative is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. So first is to realize, once I've been in this industry a little over 15 years. And one thing to know about DEI, it has had various different names over time. But their names of this industry has always started or changed by a societal event. It has always been the catalyst to trigger the name and change. Before, it was organizational development, organizational effectiveness, then it went to affirmative action, then you went to diversity. So there's always a cyclical nature, but the underpinning of the foundation remains the same, is to level the playing field.
Yep.
At the end of the day, right? It's to level the playing field so that everyone can thrive without barriers. Everyone has access, we're all included, and we're treated like human beings.
Yeah.
Right? No matter who you are, that is, and what side of the aisle that you're on politically, at the end of the day, that is the core.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when we think about today, to your point around how's it changing and remain the same, it is, here's the thing. I like to disrupt and I like to ruffle some feathers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to say, and a lot of my colleagues may be a little upset with me, at some point, the pendulum was swung too far. What you're seeing right now is course correction.
Wow. How so?
And so what you're seeing is the course correction of, we have to get back to some fundamentals that I think were lost in the process. And I'm not going to make a broad sweeping judgment to say that every company or every professional practitioner did this. But at some point, we lost sight of the foundation: accountability, trust, fairness, and inclusion. At the end of the day, we lost, some people lost sight of the fundamentals and swung the pendulum a little too far. So what you're seeing is this course correction to get us back to the basics. And so when you think about DEI programs, they're very effective and they're great, but are they grounded in business strategy? Are they grounded in the fundamentals? And are they delivering outcomes? We can track a lot of flurry of activity. And listen, I'm a strategist at heart, so I start to get into, it's a lot of activity, and we can check boxes and we can do a lot of performative measures. But at the end of the day, are we achieving outcomes?
Yep.
Right? Because it got to make sense.
It does.
And I don't mean common sense. I mean the sense, the dollars. Right? We in business, right?
Yeah.
And so, but I think what we do now, we have an opportunity. I like to see opportunity within chaos, right?
Yeah.
And there's a silver lining. And we have an opportunity right now to balance both the business case and the moral case. And we have to find a way to strike that right balance and do that going forward.
No, that's good. I mean, that's something that I often say as well. Crisis, of course, nobody wants crisis.
No.
But the thing that crisis does, it creates an opportunity. And it creates an opportunity for us to address the problem more intentionally.
Exactly.
Yeah, because when you have a crisis, sometimes that pushes you beyond your comfort zone.
It does.
And not sometimes, I think all the times, when you have that name of a crisis, that's something that, it kind of takes you out of that shell. You don't feel as protected anymore. You feel vulnerable.
You have to assess.
And you have to assess, and then you're open to different ideas. You're open to a new philosophy. You're open to new ways of thinking. You may take on partners that you haven't taken on in the past when you thought things were safe, right?
Yes.
And so I think it does. It creates an opportunity for us to be solution-oriented, but more intentionally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that intentionality, right?
Yeah,
behind that.
Because it's affecting so many people right now on so many different levels. And so being able to figure out like how to navigate through it properly, I think is key, core, and central. So no, that's good. So, when you talk through, a lot of the organizational change, the culture, with you leading your company, being a businesswoman, right? Like, I'm sure you have other kids that may look up to you, ask you everything about your role, how you do it, how you got to where you are. And in a very social media centric society that we live in, we live in we're from a very good age, right? And we at a good age where we know both the digital and the analog.
Yes, the dialogue.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like we know what it means to wait for something, and then we know what it means to have something instantaneous, right? So when you have a younger demographic where all they know is the instantaneous, where everything is accessible at the click of a button, have you had conversations, or is there anything that you want to say to them to let them know about the significance of putting in the time and how some things still take time?
I have this conversation almost daily. I have it with kids and adults.
Uh-oh, come on now.
And I had this conversation, matter of fact, with the co-authors in our latest book. And they asked me a very interesting question. And they said, you've gotten to this point. How do you keep taking no's? And I thought that was interesting.
Wow.
Because I think I've normalized taking the no's, right? It's a part of the entrepreneurship journey. Like, you just got to get real used to it. Let them no's just, whoo. Now, again, when you first get started, them no's sting, right? This is survival. You're trying to feed your family, right? And you're trying to prove and make a name for yourself. And so for any kids, any adults, the no's for me are data. Do not shy away from the no's. Don't overplan so that you never get a no. The no gives you data. And I take the no's. Matter of fact, I count my no's. You know why I count my no's?
I'm a bite. Why?
I know how many no's it takes for me to get a yes.
Say that again for the people in the back.
I count my no's because I know exactly how many no's it takes for me to get a yes. And I find so many people who quit and pivot before they know exactly how many no's it takes for them to get a yes.
Wow.
I know, depending on my service offering, it may take me 20 no's to get a yes. So I ask for the no's real fast. Reject me real quick so I can get to my next one because I'm on number 17. Look, no, perfect. 18. Next, don't string me along. Tell me no now because my no is my next opportunity. So in this society of instantaneous, take the no's. Take the data. What is that telling you? Was it not an ideal client fit? Was it pricing? Was it, you know what? It's not the right service. It's data. Write it down. Look at it. Analyze it and get clear about it, right? And how to move forward. Now we don't want to hear no. We think rejection and, oh my gosh, and life is over. No, you built that resilience. You built that armor. And like I said, start counting your no's. You never know. It may take you 12 and you've pivoted or quit and you didn't even know you were on number 10. You was right there. So close.
No, that's good. That's good. Count your no's.
Count your no's. Use it as data.
Now you said something before you started. You said some of the other co-authors of a book, right? So you got a book coming out.
We have launched another book.
It's already out.
It is already out.
Oh, we got to talk about it.
Yeah, it is already out. So I'll just tell you, when we doing our leadership development, it's the whole ecosystem is called Leadership Redefined.
Okay.
And how we redefine leadership, one of the ways is through our spice.
Yes.
So I'm a ageist. You remember books Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul?
Yes.
Okay. And Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul, and then it was like Kids for the Soul, and then it was like Chicken Noodle Soup for Moms and all of that. That is my vision for Spice, is to have all of these. So the very first book was Black Women Leading with Spice. We just launched Women Redefining Leadership with Spice. This was 13 executives, CEOs, doctors, professors, you name it, academia, women who wrote how they are leading with spice and how they redefine leadership. And everyone had it was amazing because we all talked about how we tried leadership the traditional way and how we were taught. And there was this defining or pivotal moment to where we had to do it on our own terms. And that's where we had success. So 13 phenomenal women. Our forward was written by the amazing Doretta Rose. She's the Chief People Officer of the Atlanta Braves.
Nice.
And she wrote how she, is redefining leadership, right, with Spice. And so we launched the book. Wow. It's on Barnes & Noble. It's on Amazon. It is there.
Yeah, tell us everywhere that
it is. It's on our site, redefineleadership.com, literally everywhere.
Redefineleadership.com. Where else?
Barnes & Noble.
Barnes & Noble. Yeah. Where else?
Amazon.
We'll
name that one.
And the website. You don't have no excuses. You should have it.
None.
No, that is
but
good.
yeah, it's part of our so it's just part of our ecosystem with the book, our programs, our conferences. So on redefining leadership.
Yeah. No, that is good. That is good. I mean, when you think about, you know, having that for young Black women, or just Black women as a whole, and then when you see kind of how it's morphed and you see these other executives that are leading with Spice, and then hearing their testimonies, I'm sure that book kind of gets into some of that as well. Talk to me a little bit about maybe some of their experiences from leading with Spice.
Yeah, so here's what I love about this.
And then tell us what it stands for too.
Yeah, I was like Spice. Are y'all really like talking about Spice in it? Like what we doing? Right?
Yeah.
So one, I'll tell you this book, I love it because it has all the hues. But here was the thing: we all had commonalities and similarities. No matter this book has Black women, Caucasian women, Asian women, Latino women, it is, but we all bonded, right, over this similar lived experience, right, which was, you would think it would be so different, but it really wasn't. Yeah. And so
we have more in common than we have differences. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And society would try to tell us different. Yep. Right? But we actually came together and formed a community and wrote this book together. And so when we talk about Spice, it is a double entendre. You know, it is a play on words. It is about Spice, your authenticity, your unique individuality. We talk about being authentic. I know it's a buzzword right now, but authentic means being aligned. Not, let me wake up and see how real I can be. Yeah. Are you living and leading in alignment with your values and your beliefs? And so when we say one, are you being authentic? But the Spice is a framework. It's a roadmap. Matter of fact, it is now trademarked and proprietary.
Come on now.
You can't nobody take it down. It is now. Come on now. You can't lead with Spice. You can't Spice. You can't Spice with a period in it. It is locked up.
You got to call Miss Spice.
You got to call all the Spice. And so Spice is a framework of the skills that you need to lead yourself and advance in your career.
That's good.
And so a lot of times as women, we put all of our eggs in the performance bucket. We're going to overperform, have and we're trying to figure out what's missing. And so Spice gives you what's missing. And so it tells you to lead with your savvy, which is your business savvy, your performance, intentional performance, your image, which is the I, your authentic image, your C is communication, which is effective communication, and E is exposure, which is strategic exposure. Wow. And that's how you lead with Spice in corporate America. Corporate America needs a little spice in their life.
Yeah. Spice it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That is good. Thank you for sharing that. And I think, you know, like that's a huge inspiration. You know, even for me, right? We go back a long ways. It's high school, you know, and just to see, you know, like we fully adulting now, you know, and just living life, but also taking those experiences, being able to step into our particular lanes. And so to see you now, you know, being an author 2 times over, right, and continuing to go, right, when you think about the vision that you do have, you know, I definitely think that there's more for you as well. Yeah. But then just being able to come in, of course, disrupt, but also, you know, showcase the significance of really understanding who you are, how to live in that, be comfortable in your own skin, and how you don't have to shy away from that to fit into whatever perceived box that you think is going to be the best box for acceptance.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of us share, and I share this story, and I'll be brief, but I spent 10 years in corporate America conforming, code switching, covering. Like if you looked up the definition, I was that. I kept my hair straight, changed the tone of my voice, changed my hobbies, literally changed
Wow.
who I was, a shell
Yeah.
of a human until 10 years of burnout, right? Because you can no longer keep up the facade. And I always remember the day that the dad decided not to, something about giving birth to kids, and kids they'll hold up a mirror real quick.
Yes, they will.
And I come back to work, and I had this big board meeting, and by this time I'm, becoming more authentic, more bold, and I don't have anything to prove, right? And I come back and I have this meeting, and I'm asking for $10 million for a strategy, and I'm not trying to, overcompensate and cover, and I'm me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sitting here with you, and I'm talking to them just like I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
And they was like, you can have the money and come back when you need more. Wait, what?
Yeah.
It was that simple? But the board, 3 board members, after I got done, they said, there she is. And I said, huh? That's what we've been waiting on this entire time. We was wondering when she was going to show up. Whether we agree or not, I can trust you. I know where you stand. I know what you believe in. Now I can trust you to lead the organization. And that's when my career took off. Not when I was covering to try to appease and fit into the box and fit into the mold and trying to be agreeable and the people pleaser and right, the perfectionist and all the isms and, all the things that you think about. My career didn't take off until I said, this is where I stand. This is what I need. And I need it. Why? Here's the risk. Look, everything else is in the appendix. Go look for it. Yeah. And I had my hair shaved and bright colors and, everything. And they were like, we're just waiting on her to show up.
Wow.
Career took off. I spent so much time, again, conforming to who I thought they wanted me to be.
Yep.
When in fact, I had to get back into alignment. And when you're back in alignment, what is for you comes to you. And the thing is, when you're out of alignment, you keep missing your opportunities. They keep falling.
You sure do.
Get back into alignment, you'll catch them.
Yeah.
They'll come right to you.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, on your best day, you can't be me. And on my best day, I cannot be you. And that's a beautiful thing.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
We should all be okay with that.
We should all be okay with that.
Okay with that. Absolutely.
Man, well, Shayla, it has been a pleasure. We could do this all day.
Man,
I gotta have you back on. But no, that is great. I'm glad that you were able to just lead with the spice, talk through just your journey. Let us know exactly what it means to lean into your authentic self. And let that be a testament to other people as well. Like you said, young and old. We all struggle with that. And so being able to gain that source of inspiration from your story, I think somebody's going to be able to take that and run with it.
Absolutely. I'll just leave you with this. Like you said earlier, we know a time of pre-social media now, and I can't imagine growing up with the pressure now, right, that social media brings. And so to your young audience who are listening, social media is, does perpetrate that conforming culture. The best thing that you can do is be your unique self and stand out and create your own lane. That is the best thing for you. It may be one of the hardest, but no matter what you want to do, whether it's business ownership, whether it's going into a career, you're more memorable when you're an individual instead of being a part of the pack. So stand out, be yourself, be an individual, go against the grain.
Yeah.
And stay in alignment.
Yeah, and the sky's the limit.
Exactly.
What's for you will be for you.
Yes, you'll be right in your lane going straight up.
Yeah. No, well, thank you, Shayla. I appreciate the time.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure.
As always.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.